Hello there, this is Shades, and basically I am a massive Warhammer Fantasy fan. Now, the reason I'm making this video is that I've noticed on YouTube there are a few channels, two that I can think of off the top of my head, Arch Warhammer and Gaming Shenanigans, that deal with Warhammer Fantasy lore. And I absolutely love those channels, I really, really do. But I've noticed that when it comes to Warhammer Fantasy, and I'm not talking about 40k because that seems to be far more popular and there's loads of stuff there, but when it comes to Warhammer Fantasy, anything to do with the lore, it's always based on the rule books and the main 8th edition gaming book, basically, and not so much on the fluff on all the novels that are written by Black Library. Now, I don't really play much Warhammer tabletop-wise. I paint a little bit, and I'll show you a few things I've been working on. Here they are, a few I've been working on. We've got some High Elf Shadow Warriors grouped together on the right, and then there's a High Elf Prince and a random Wood Elf Archer next to it. I'll zoom in on them. Not the best painter in the world, but quite proud of these ones. I'm getting better at it, better at the blending. Zoom in there. Not bad. I'm really proud of this one. It's not finished yet, but that one's turning out really nice. And then there's my random Wood Elf Archer. But anyway, zoom out. The reason I'm making this video is because I absolutely love the novels by Black Library. And as you can see, I've spaced all the ones I've got here with me at the moment on the floor. And there are 98 books there. It doesn't quite look like 98 because some of them contain 2 or 3 novels in one book. There's the dreaded End Times. Anyone who's read them knows what I mean. Ah, disappear. Anyway, those are all the books, and turn this around. I've noticed that on YouTube there doesn't really seem to be much information on those novels, on the story that the Black Library's created, this incredibly detailed world. And I thought, like, I'd try and give it a go. Now, the way this is going to work is it's going to be really, really conversational. I mean, I'm not the best editor. I've just started making videos, so I don't really know how to edit, and I have no script whatsoever, as you can probably tell. But what I want to do is go through the books in some sort of order. I haven't quite worked it out yet, and just basically record the entire story of Warhammer, the entire world that's been created from the very beginning, when the old ones first came to the world, when it was just populated by dragons and dragon ogres and their war, all the way through the time of Legends, which is these books over here. This deals with the elves initially, the story of Malekith and the Sundering after they managed to defeat Chaos. We've also got the story of Sigmar, and that includes things like the Battle of Blackfire Pass, their meeting, Sigmar rescuing the Great Dwarven King, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, and getting Gal Maraz. There's also the story of Nagash, the Great Necromancer. After the Time of Legend series, we'll move on to the present-day Warhammer. You know, Warhammer 8th edition. However, like I say, it's going to be doing it from the point of view of the novels. So talking about Nagaroth through the eyes of Malus Darkblade, and talking about all the different places that Gotrek and Felix saw through their eyes. And we'll really have to spend a long time on Gotrek and Felix. I've got all the books, read them all, and they're amazing. We've really got to do them justice because there is so much information contained in those books about the Warhammer world. We'll go through all the different novels, well, all the ones that I've got anyway, and finally on to the end times, which gets a lot of hate. I hate it too, in a way. I don't mind the books, I think they're quite good, but I hate what it might do to Warhammer Fantasy. But that's the plan anyway. Tackling this huge amount of material, tackling this huge world from start to finish, focusing on it book by book. And some of the information will obviously contradict itself because, you know, some of the books may contradict themselves, but we'll try and work it out. And my hope is that after going through all this, book by book, there'll be an encyclopedia, if you like, of the Warhammer world through the novels. Now, let's turn this around. Like I say, I've never really done anything like this. I've not made much videos, so this is going to be done in a real conversational style, like I'm doing now. We'll just pick up a book, I'll talk through it, I'll link it up to other books, try and build it up into its own little story. For example, we'll go through the 3 Elven Time of Legend books, and we'll take those as a group and see what kind of world we can build up. I'll try and group all the novels that can be grouped, and then any that can't we'll do separately. So that's what I'm going to try and do in the future. And I can say I have no idea how long this project will take. It'll take as long as it takes. But hopefully, by the end of it, we will have a really detailed world in a nice package. And anyone who might be watching, if there is anyone watching, can click on a video and learn about the different characters from the Warhammer world, the different lands, through the books rather than through the rule books. So we will start from the very beginning with the old ones, and the very beginning is a very mysterious time. We don't have very much information on it, but we'll start with the old ones, and they're coming to the Warhammer world. And what was there before the old ones, the dragons and dragon ogres and the other beasts, and how the old ones created the different races of the Warhammer world. And then we'll move on to the first set of books, which are going to be the Time of Legend series, the Elven trilogy, which basically deals with Anarion and then Malekith and the Golden Age of the Elves, and finally the Sundering. So I shall see you soon when we begin our quest through the Warhammer world.